me ask you about this. I mean, look, I can see people trying. A lot of people in the Democrat Party like Biden. I've read Thomas Friedman saying he cried last night, the New York Times columnist, when he was watching it. Frank Bruni was sort of tearing up. Everyone's tearing up. I don't really feel emotional, I'm afraid, and I find it very hard to feel sympathy for Joe Biden. I think it was very sad what we watched, but I also think we're now at the stage where this is actually willfully selfish and harming to the Democrat Party, isn't it?
Yeah, so I only have one point that I have sympathy for Joe Biden on. But first of all, these guys, I mean, look at the people in power, whether it's media or Democratic leadership. They're all crying because, their beloved Joe Biden didn't look good. I mean, this guy just sent $20 billion to slaughter more Palestinian children. I cry for them. I don't cry for Joe Biden. Joe Biden has taken corporate donations his entire life. He used to be known as the senator from MBNA. This guy is a classic corporate corrupt Democrat. So I don't join any of this like, oh my God, he was such a good person. And think about this. This guy, and even if you disagree with me and you think, oh my God, no, I love establishment Democrats that sell us out to the donors. Oh, you're so radical for saying things that are obviously true. But think about this, even for those guys, he was willing to risk all of us, the Democratic voters, the Democratic Party, the entire country, just to satiate his ego. Oh, I want to be a two-term president. That's better for my legacy. So he's an egomaniac that I have no sympathy for, except one thing. Last night was elder abuse. And it was elder abuse by the entire Democratic leadership, the DNC, and yes, sorry, but Jill Biden. If Jill Biden wants to run for president, she should do it.
What? Cenk, bruh, kudos to you for being objective, for telling the truth. Thank you. That's exactly what happened. And leave it there.
But, I mean, there's no way that a loving spouse lets that happen.
No, I agree.
And thinks, oh, great, push him out there, we got this. You don't have it. This is absurd. But the one piece of good news out of all this, Piers, is it's over. We're going to get a new candidate, and hopefully we're going to kick Donald Trump's ass.
And Cenk, before I go to Hassan, who would your preference be for who that person should be that could actually be the nominee and potentially beat Trump?
So the problem with the Democratic Party is that they never pick a populist in a populist time. They keep picking the most establishment candidates there are when the American people keep telling you they don't want establishment candidates like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. So they should pick a populist, but they won't. Of course, the top candidate is Bernie Sanders, and he would easily beat Donald Trump. Everybody actually knows that. They just don't, and let's be honest, the Democratic Party would rather have Donald Trump than Bernie Sanders. So, but if you say, no, Bernie Sanders is too old or we can't have it, you can go to Ro Khanna, you can go to Jamie Raskin. Jamie Raskin's beloved by everyone in the Democratic Party. He's incredibly smart, incredibly principled. He would eviscerate Donald Trump in a debate. Let's pick someone who can win and actually represent the people.
Okay, before I come to Hassan, actually, let me just get Vinny's reaction to that. What one name?
I'm afraid I'm going to disagree with Cenk there.
We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach.
Yeah, go on then. Okay, Hassan, you respond, yeah.
Okay. First of all, Big Gretch. That's it. That's the method. That's the movement. Okay? Put Mama Gretch in office. Okay? She's popular. She's in a pivotal state. She would absolutely crush it. I don't like Gavin Newsom at all. I think he has a lot of weaknesses. I think he's horrible. He's done an abysmal job refusing to fix the housing crisis in California that's obviously contributing to the homelessness crisis so that, guys like Vinny can complain about how much of a shithole California is or whatever people talk about. Like, that would stick on a national level on Gavin Newsom. Don't turn the rest of the country into California would be the attitude. Another good guy, I think, another great guy, J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois. We need a big boy in office. We need a dynamo. We need a guy with a kind heart, You know, he could even. I'm not exactly a fan of him being a billionaire, but ultimately, you know, maybe we could have a real billionaire against Donald Trump's phony billionaire status. Who knows? Anyone would be better than Joe Biden at this point. Even Hillary Clinton.
Well,
probably would
that's
be better
interesting.
than Joe
Okay,
Biden at this point.
that's interesting. So, I mean,
which
for
is
those who
why
don't know,
I think,
well, hang on,
which
just
is why I think they're
hang
going
on
to
a
put her.
second. For those who don't know who the Gretch is, by the way, it's the Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. But I want to come to Vinny. Hillary Clinton's name is being talked up here as potentially the unfinished business that she comes sweeping back and she does what she failed to do in 2016 and she actually beats him. What are your thoughts about Hillary returning?
You know what, Piers? I think she's finished. Hillary Clinton has no chance. I think every single time she gets in front of a camera, it's hurting the Democratic Party. I think she's the worst. From her history with her and her husband, it's abysmal. Let's not even get into the Clinton Foundation and Epstein and her husband. That's a whole different can of worms. But I think it's funny how everybody on the left is so, this whole failed presidency is because of Biden's age and his dementia, which he definitely has. Whoever's going to come in, it's the Democratic Party's policies. Plain and simple. I don't give a damn who you put in there. Gretch, Bernie Sanders, communism, you want socialism, you want all that crap. It's not going to fix anything. That shit's going to keep going. Say what you want. Last night solidified it even more for the independents in the middle that are kind of on the fence. I would much rather vote for the convicted felon than this poor old moron that they wheel out there now on purpose like a sacrificial lamb with no drugs and everything to turn. You notice, Piers, every other debate, every CNN anchor, everybody that was moderating would cut Trump off. They would yell. They would stop. Notice how they sat there, Jay Tapper and Dana Bash. They were quiet. They let everything pull out. This was all on purpose. And I think that Hillary Clinton's on the table. I think Gavin Newsom, for sure, he was the only one there. You notice that? He had good gel in his hair.
I've said for 2 years that I think Newsom is the one that.
He said Gavin Newsom Gavin Newsom came prepared, man. He had gel in his hair. He looked presidential. Of course they did. They was ready to roll him out on the stage. They wanted him to go ahead and tag team. And then Newsom run out there and start debating Trump. I want to see a golf game between Trump and Biden, or I want to see them fight to the death. Okay.
Could put up the best fight. And I was persuaded when he went on Fox News into the heart of the enemy lair and sat there with Sean Hannity for an hour and acquitted himself very, very well. I mean, Jenna, to bring you in here, I mean, who Jenna, if you were a Democrat right now, who would you think had the best chance of actually taking Trump on? You know Trump very well. You know his weaknesses, his strengths. Who of all the Democrat names you've seen touted would you fear most, potentially, as being the one that could win it for the Democrats?
Well, I actually agree with what Sink said, that we really need a populist on both sides that actually speaks to what the American people are concerned about. And if the Democrats can put up someone who isn't so far extreme leftist establishment, then I think that they have a real chance of actually getting disaffected
who is that person?
Republicans as well. And I think that they should put up someone like an Andrew Yang. They should have gone with RFK Jr. I mean, he acquitted himself very well in the debate, and neither side, notice, wanted him on stage. I think he is going to rise in momentum after last night's debate. And anyone realistically that the Democrats put up now, if it's not someone as far left as a Gretchen Whitmer, for example, has a real shot at winning. But what I think the American people need to do is take a hard look at the U.S. Constitution. We have a minimum. Because look at what she did during the COVID lockdowns.
Can you give me like
look
one
at how
policy?
she has. So look at what she did during the COVID lockdowns.
Okay.
Look at her position on extreme on abortion. Look at how she has run her state as basically taking legislative power into the executive. So look at her position on
her
queer
position
theory.
on abortion
so
that you
she
find
is
so
for
extreme?
Abortion. So her position on abortion that is so extreme is that she wants no limits at all, no restrictions. And most of the country is not for that. Even the Democrats themselves know that there needs to be some restrictions, at least in third term. No, that is absolutely true. And I mean, feel free to fact check me on that if she's changed her position. But
no restrictions
all of
on the
Democrat
third
extreme
trimester
leftists,
is a falsehood. That's not a real thing. Every conversation that we have with Republicans, unfortunately, revolves around
hang on.
hallucinations of Republicans.
My former home state of Colorado
third...
allows abortion until the day of birth. That is the law in 7 states right now, including California, where Gavin Newsom is the governor.
There is
so
no
there
state,
are people
there is no
that can
state
go in. Yes,
in the country where you can have a third trimester abortion without a doctor
California,
giving you a medical exemption. No, you still have to get a psychiatric evaluation
and it doesn't matter whether
and a healthcare evaluation.
But it's still allowed. That's the point.
Women are
the
going
point
around.
Is that it is still
okay,
allowed.
you're a woman. Have you ever been pregnant? I have a question for you. Have you? Or I don't know. Have you? Okay, so you know how tumultuous of a process that is.
But
it's actually,
and so I mean, have you ever been pregnant?
Because the point I'm making is, it is obviously
irrelevant. The point
I've never been pregnant, but it seems like I understand it as good as you do. What's happening here?
No, you actually don't understand
no woman is
it
carrying a
because
pregnancy
of the law
for
in
9 months,
so
they can have a regular.
Whether Hassan is pregnant.
Let me finish answering the question actually about
so they can have
Gretchen Whitmer.
Guys, you're talking over each other.